All right. Back to the business. Being the example of doing it correctly. Getting involved in the market. There's many markets. I'm going under the knife tomorrow, so I'm going to go ahead and do the 2-piece early. I don't know how I'm going to be feeling. So I wanted to talk about energy. And I've got a few stocks here. Because investing is easier than trading. Trading is leverage, and investing is not leverage. 1 for 1, not 1 for 100. Most people don't know the difference until they go in there and get wrecked. Why am I getting wrecked so fast? Because you think 1 is 1, and it's not. Your 1 is actually 100. That's why you lose so quickly, because you're treating it like it's 1 for 1, because we only know investing. I'm going to buy this. Well, it costs $1. All right. For you to lose, it has to go to 0. But if that $1 is multiplied times 100 or times 1,000, it can make you lose before it gets to 0. This may not make sense to a lot of people. It's not supposed to make sense to slaves. This ain't supposed to make sense to slaves. This only makes sense to the rich people. They stay rich and go 1 for 1, and then they put leverage down here with the people so the people can get involved with the leverage and get wrecked. And then they run away from it thinking they can't do it because they don't know the game. Back to the charts. Investing in stocks, building your own 401k, finding a stock that has value. Well, what's the value? Energy, commodities, oil, natural gas, gasoline, heating oil. We talked about this, right? And then Iran gets bombed and then oil skyrockets. Why? Because the Strait of Hormuz is a danger zone for Iran. They'll hit the ships as they go through the Straits of Hormuz. Well, we're going to have to destroy Iran. So no ships will be fearful that they're going to get destroyed as they go through the Straits of Hormuz. We're destroying Iran. And I'm not bragging. It's just that for us to have peace in the world, you got to take the head off the snake. You got to defeat the bully. Some would say that the U.S. is the bully. Well, it's the bully to go take care of the bully. Very well, because we're not really losing nothing. Think about it. Who's not losing human life? China. They didn't go to Ukraine. They didn't go to Russia. Who did? North Korea sent people over there to get their heads rolled. Russia's losing heads. Ukraine is losing heads. Israel's losing heads. And Iran is losing heads. Who's not losing heads? Even the U.S., we just lost 6 people. We shouldn't be losing no people. And this is why Trump is doing it the way he's doing it. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm just saying he's protecting our people. Our people. Not the people that's not supposed to be here. So let's just get it straight. Protecting our soldiers, our troops, the people who defend the country. The ones who deserve the respect, right? So we're protecting our troops. We're not putting boots on the ground. We're just destroying them from a distance so that everybody can get their shipments going back through the Straits of Hormuz. That's how it is. That's how it's going to go. It ain't going to go no other way. Iran keep acting like they're not going to submit. Oh, you going to submit? Or you going to get destroyed? That's just what's going to happen. We see it very clear. The news can tell you that, right? You can't spin it. You can keep acting like you're going to not bow down. You're going to bow down. So this should be cleared up within the next month or so, hopefully, and getting these people up out of here so that those sleeper cells will minimize, right? There's a reason for getting these people up out of here. So that's just how I see it. It ain't got nothing to do with me, really. So I'll just be over here in my lane. But anyway, back to these stocks. Power, energy, right? Bullard Power. And then PAVE is an ETF. PAVE, I guess. Infrastructure, right? Energy fuels. The fuel for the energy, right? You have energy and then the fuel that it takes to get the energy. See? Come on. We working, right? XLU, another ETF. Now, normally, I'm talking to people that are trying to get into the game. I'm speaking to the experienced traders and investors down to the newbie, right? Giving you something you can get involved with. I don't want to talk about Apple, Tesla, Amazon, these stocks that are up over $350 a share. No. Down at the bottom, right? Because you want to get these stocks at the bottom and let them go to $350 a share. That's why I talk about stuff like this. I'm new to investing, for 2 to 3 years new, right? But I'm one step ahead of people who haven't got involved yet, right? So, and I feel like I have saucy information to pass along. Why I pick the certain stocks that I pick, because it allows people to get involved. This is investing. It is a version of trading. It's not really trading, because our community, when we say trading, we're talking about leverage. We're talking about the one being actually 100. In investing, the one is one. So if I buy one share of Bullard Power, it's $1.96 for one share. So I could buy one, and it only costs under $2. I can buy one. But once it gets under $1, I can't buy one. I have to buy 100. That's the rules. For the newbies, they don't know this, right? How come I can't buy? Because it's under $1. You have to buy, and it'll give you the error. Oh, you have to buy a minimum of 100 shares when the price gets below $1. Your broker will tell you that. I recommend WEBULL, right? Because I get a 10-star experience with WEBULL. I don't get paid to talk about them, but I don't want to talk about things that don't work. I want to talk about things that work. Help people out. Give them a hand. Man, people want to charge $800 to give you free information. This is public knowledge. You just need somebody who knows. So that's why I say surround yourself with people who know, not people who think they know or act like they know. People who actually know, right? So we go to PAVE, right? This is a new one. Someone put me onto this, right? The reason I bring this up, we want to look at the basic scale of 100. You have the regular scale. We'll say it's the big picture. And then we have a smaller picture, right? In this case, 1,000 down to 100, right? The basic scale of 100. That's the bigger picture for higher valued stocks. And then you have a smaller picture from 100 down to 15. And then the smaller picture, 10 down to 150. And then the smaller picture, $1, get under $1 down to 15 cents. All these scales, depending on whatever asset you want to deal with, you have your scale, right? So it's in regards to PAVE, we know that 50, I keep telling everyone, the market makers like to bring you back to the middle. It'll go to 60, come back to 50. It'll go down to 40 and then come back to 50 and get you to try to get in the middle because you're being impatient, and it's going to stretch you in both directions. Now, if we're investing, right, it don't matter because it's one for one. So for in this case with PAVE, if I buy one share for $50, there you go. The company has to go out of business. It has to go bankrupt for you to lose your $50, right? This is why I don't really want to do a stock at $50. I want to do a stock at $15 down at the discount and let it go to 50. Now I'm in profit. I want to go from $15 to $50. I don't want to drop from 50 down to 15. That's why I would only buy one share at $50. I don't even want to do that. I want to take that 50 and then go buy 4 shares down at $15 instead of one share at $50. Do I believe in the company? What is the company? It's infrastructure, it's energy. It has to do with that sector, right? So instead of buying PAVE, right, I'm just talking about it because it has to do with energy, all right? 60, 50, 40 in this case. I don't want it at 50. I want it at 40. You have to use the scale. Nobody knows what the scale is because I created the scale. So, in reminding everyone, if I want to get involved with energy, then I need to look at all the energy stocks, right? And then think commodity-wise. When the price of oil and the price of commodities start elevating because of the revaluing of everything, because we're going digital, right? When the dollar starts dropping to zero and losing value, all these commodities are going to start heading to the upside because that's how the financial system works. You don't want to get left behind. You want to understand that when the dollar goes down, assets go up. And that's why I do the 10-minute two-piece, so that I can bring investments into your peripherals, so that you can see, oh, these are the types of companies I should be paying attention to, and putting alerts on the company's prices so that it'll tell you when it dips to the bottom, when Trump says something about tariffs, or if we drop bombs on something and the whole stock market seems to dip like it's dipping, right? I already told y'all all this. I've been talking since December. So I've been calling all of this because I know how price works. It's price action. I don't care what happens in the news. It'll help move it faster, right? But I already told you, I caught the sell on the Dow Jones because I already know the market is supposed to fall from January, February to March. In between March and April, the market should be finding its bottom just like it did last year. If it did it last year, then why is nobody saying, oh, wait, you just might want to look for the market to touch bottom between March and April. We just saw it last year. For the people, not the prophets. Promoting the truth. Being consistent and persistently promoting the truth so people can get on the train. That's how you beat the market. To beat the market, you must become the market. We are the market. It moves off of the back of our people. If that's the case, you need to get in line, in tune with what the market's doing so you can take advantage of it, so you can save yourself and your family. The market moves with integrity through the price. You have the ability to put alerts on every asset from every sector. WeBull gives you the ability to put alerts on everything, free of charge. So when it hits the price that you're looking for, based on the basic scale of 100, you are able to enter at the proper positions and not worry so much about losing because your company has to go bankrupt for you to lose. So that's the 10-minute two-piece. I don't really have to say too much about the companies. You can do your own research. Type the names into Google, and then Google will give you the explanation on what they do. Right? Put your alerts on them and let the alert talk to you. If I want to do pharmaceuticals, I find the best pharmaceuticals according to what social media is talking about. I don't have to buy them. I just need to know what people are saying. If what they're saying is true, if I put the alerts on those pharmaceuticals, then by the time they hit their bottoms, I'll be ready to buy them. If I want to do energy, I could do the same thing. If I want to do crypto, same thing. If I want to do metals, same thing. There are all kinds of different markets to get involved with. So, and if you lack integrity, once again, you'll be buying at 50 when you really should be buying at 40. You'll be buying at 25 when you really should be buying at 15. That's just how it goes. So, I'll probably be off for a couple of days, depending on how I feel. I don't know how I'm going to feel, but